Laura's going to show me, Mrs. Givon, how to the correct handling of an alligator this size. I have never done this before, and I'm going to do strict listening.
I'm not holding him with a lot of restraint. You can see my fingers. I've got some flexibility. The two fingers that are up closest to his head is just so that he can't turn his head side to side. I'm actually not really squeezing him. There's really not a lot of pressure on his body. As you can see, my fingers are pretty loose. The fingers on either side of his head is just so he can't turn, so that if he does get scared and want to bite, he can't turn all the way and come around and get me. I'm giving his body full support. He's small enough that he fits on my hand, and I'm holding his tail like this, so his body and spine are fully supported. If he was a larger alligator, he could fit more on my forearm, but I'm not giving I'm not holding very tightly, but I'm giving a lot of support. If he does wiggle, you don't want to squeeze. You just let him sort of wiggle it out, but you definitely want to keep the front two fingers in the same spot. He'll move his head and you'll feel it go against those two fingers. And he may try to turn a little bit, but again, if you keep your fingers in the same position, you're going to basically hold his body in one spot. Also, if he does start to wiggle, just putting a light grip on his tail helps too, because he will move a lot of his body with his tail. So if he wiggles, you just give it a light grip and you'll feel it move back and forth. So whatever is your best hand. I'm going to have you slide up your hand underneath, and then I'm going to have you right just like that. There you go.
Hello, baby. Oh, he has a smooth, cool surface. He looks like he's got a nice belly, like he's eaten well. Yes, frozen nice, and just relax. Do you do alligator massage?
Well, you can call when the kids get the chance to touch his tail and stuff. Yeah.
Do they like it?
Well, at this size, he's still trying to figure out what's happening to him. We don't mean any harm, but in his head, he's still working out that nothing bad is going to happen to him. So, I think he gets a little scared, but then he relaxes, and then sometimes he wiggles, and then he relaxes.
Now, if children find little grunts like this in the wild, what is the best advice for them?
Just leave them where they are and step away. Will be the best thing they can do. They definitely don't want to go up to a wild alligator this size or smaller or bigger and do what you're doing right now, because the ones in the wild aren't used to being around people. First thing probably going to do is going to try to run away. If they can't run away, then they're going to defend themselves like any animal would. And with the alligator, the best thing they can use to defend themselves is their mouth. So they can bite, and they're going to try to run away first, but then...
An alligator this size, his mama is probably still around.
That's what I was wondering. When do they lose their stripes? How old?
They'll probably, once they get to be almost a fully mature adult, so it can take up to 6 years for them to be a full adult.
Okay.
And so these stripes that you see now will actually fade over the next 6 years until he does become completely the one dark green black.
So how long does mama hang around?
Just about a year.
Wow, that's a long time for a reptile.
Yeah, 6 months to a year, but about a year is good. So even, he's just a little over a year, so he would be without his mom right now, but at this size it can be hard to tell. So if you see an alligator this size out, you could very well still be with his mother.
And from what I've read, the alligator moms are the fiercest. They'll kill the male alligator if he doesn't get out of town fast.
Yeah, because male alligators will eat babies, so the mom will defend her babies against anything.
Yeah, I would not mess with Mrs. Alligator at all. Not at all. He's very cool to the touch. He feels relaxed. I can feel him breathing. He's expanding and collapsing his lungs as he's breathing, sideways mostly. His legs aren't moving at all, and I don't feel too much around his neck. And I bet he likes my thumb massage on his back. That's usually where animals like being touched. Yes, this is the first time I've done a gator massage. These plates, how big do these plates get? These are like scales?
Yeah, they'll grow as he grows. So the bigger the alligator, the bigger the plates. Just imagine as he gets longer and bigger, they'll also grow in size in proportion to his body.
Okay, now why are alligators not good pets?
Oh, well, for a lot of the things we've already talked about, they can be very feisty. They may not know not to bite. So if you're near their mouth or if you're trying to feed, they're just going to go after whatever they think is food. If they're scared, they can bite. It's not an animal that has been around to be a pet or in anybody's home. Think about your dog or your cat. Those have been around for several hundreds of years, and they've been bred to be in your family, whereas these have not.
It's also important to remember nature centers and zoos and places like we have here have special permits to have these animals. And without those special permits, no one is allowed to have them. And you can only have a permit if you are doing educational things with the animal. It's for educational purposes only. And again, it's against the law to have an alligator if you do not have the permits. And so that's another reason why they won't make good pets.
Okay, excellent. How about if we pause for a moment and go over to where his tank is?